Where I'm from. I'm from the flat above the grocery, 3 flights up on a dusty wooden porch. I survey my concrete kingdom. Wet sheets snap the air on crisscrossed clotheslines. Across the alley, the tops of trees glow from street lamps standing sentry down the block. I come from where dreams take flight like thistle, root deep in city grit, demanding bloom. I'm just an American cheese whiz kid rolling Wonder Bread into balls, savoring smells garnered walking past houses resplendent with grass and purple lilac. I'm from the longest street in Chicago, from shadows beneath the thundering L, with pigeons perched on wires stretched wider than my young eyes can fathom. My years pulled me beyond city limits, whipped me quickly past suburbia to a village with a cornfield and cows, to a cottage on a snowmobile route, and a tavern 2 doors down from a small lake who has a twin. Until age brought me here to a dot along the shore of Lake Michigan, halfway between my past and whatever comes next.
Christy Huff, Where I'm From. You might think you know me, but where I'm from, there's this. Children in our parts were to be seen and not heard. Sunday nights we all spent at Grandma and Grandpa's. Milky tea, washed down sardines and crackers, after family classics, Lawrence Welk and his big shoe. You might think I'm from Wisconsin, but then here we drink water from bubblers, and soda comes with ice. There is no woodshed out back, but threats with a belt were heard. It is more a matter of protection, respect, and family that our fathers are mostly obeyed. You might think of our little town as key nowhere, but if you stick around long enough, you'll learn more. This town is more than a trolley on a Great Lake. Motor oil runs through most of our genealogies, mixed with the alcohol found in a rut of bars. You might think our family is stuck in middle class, but we've grown out of brown bag lunch for work and school. We are proud of my generation of college graduates, of bachelor's and even master's status, encouraging the next to do the same. You might think you know me, but my family knows I'm an individual who makes my own mark. Where I'm from is part and parcel of who I am. The cheese that I love is as important as the Scottish thrift and the Irish love of music. You might think you know me, and you might be right.
Hello, I'm Carol Lee Safioti Hughes, and this is an I'm From poem, a Where I'm From poem. I'm from a green split level on a hill, an unfinished basement, damp cement walls sweating lime in the summer. Swinging from post to post, my brother and me, new skates for Christmas. Scarring the cement floor when we couldn't go outside. Quit that racket from my father upstairs. One half of the basement, a whole Lionel train set. My parents gave me a pink one. I wanted a real one, like my brother got. Norfolk and Western 900 steam locomotive chugging around the pool table made into a tabletop for our trains. I told them, take back the train. Dad's workbench in the corner, wrenches, an anvil, hammer, nails in rusty cans, and old baby food jars. I'm upstairs. The rain drifts in through the window, smells of grass and dirt splatters. The light is on in the basement. Muffled cries. Brother had a concoction of gasoline and who knows what else from Dad's stashed bottles down there. Screams to stop. My father's voice still rising. Brother finally escapes my father's grasp. Breaks open the basement door. Bleeding neck, shoulders, buttocks. I'll never go down there again. Thank you.
My name is Robert Katzman. Today is April 21, 2023. Keeps changing. And my poem is Where I'm From. Home for me is a gauzy thing. Maybe I should put my glasses on so I won't have to guess. Okay. Home for me is a gauzy thing. Years of shredded art and random beatings, a smashed bloody face, a body purple and yellow, escaping at 14 to safety and poverty. One room and a pull-down bed. Home a year later became a shack, a place of my own, a shack I controlled, selling newspapers with a precious newsstand permit. My corrupt Chicago permit lasted 20 years. Rest of my life floated around me like a galaxy of teenaged passion, sometimes total immersion, discovering women wanted what they wanted. Then, finding the one. She came, loved me, and died. 42 years evaporating. Home for me is not a hospital. Too many times being sliced apart, forever opened and closed on a table. 42 times. I escaped from those places. Blood and stitches and scalpels, terror about when is the next time. Strangers in white coats rearranging my body like a spare parts shelf. Children came, loved, and left. Today I remain at home near Christian farmland, tranquil, subdued, and alien. An aging Jewish poet, rare here as a four-leaf clover, surrounded by a world of my making, surrounded by a mountain of my words, surrounded by hammers and tools, stone, wood, fire, birds. In the morning, candles and coffee. Surprised to see yet another sunrise. See, this determined woman found me, decided I was her guy. Happened fast. I was swept up in gray-haired love. Today, wherever she is home. Thank you.
My name is Sarah Lurkey, and my poem is entitled My Life. I am from the smells of my mom's homemade cooking. My animals greet me at the door, giving me licks of love. My brother's little legs run on the carpet, wanting to play with me. At times I give him my attention, and sometimes I hide away, wanting to be by myself. As I grow, my life is filled with challenges I'm not ready for. The screams inside me haunt my days and nights, and for a moment my family and I are lost. But a tiny spark of hope starts to seep into my family's veins, and we find people that understands. And I find my way back to the world. My family continues to be the legs that I stand on, and the people that get me through each and every day.
Hello, Christina Rinaldi, and I am reading a poem titled The Palm Sea. I am from 7 blocks where the land touches the bottom of the Palm Sea. Look at the map. I am from the roots of the blue palm tree. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nancy Alexander. I'm reading Home is Where Love and the Pixies Abide. When people ask me where I'm from, I never know how to answer without yammering on. I was born an American, but not in any state of the Union. Washington, D.C. is a part of my country, but a place that's separate, set apart, just like I felt everywhere I went. Places of origin can be emotionally very powerful. They can foster pride and loyalty, and sometimes superiority. When someone can say, I'm from Jersey, or the Southwest, or Chi-Town, they're proclaiming, I belong. But somehow, I'm from so many places, I've often felt that I didn't really belong anywhere. My family came here long ago, from Britain, Germany, Scotland, and Ireland as pioneers. Early settlers on sailing ships, flatboats, and wagons to build new cabins, outposts, and villages. Not moneyed adventurers, but leaving their homes under duress. Farmers, merchants, and a miller, I'm told, who married a midwife, a Cherokee woman. Family history tells of her eastern band, hiding from resolute soldiers determined to move those people to the Oklahoma Territory. In this way, my ancestors remained. My ancestors found ways to survive, to overcome, to flourish. I owe them a great debt. I like to think that I may have inherited their grit and endurance. I feel the comfort of the spirits of those who came before me. Like them, perhaps, I have always taken my strength from the mysterious, magical beauty of nature surrounding me. I grew up in the 50s. My nomadic family lived in place after place after place, moving over and over to wherever my dad was sent by his boss to ply his trade as a civil engineer. He was the first in his family to go to college, building giant constructions for a modern convenience. He helped increase the flow of electricity. Skeletal tall towers and lines, steel and cable capped by glass, extended mechanical power to reach Americans in Appalachia, steely-eyed mountain folk in rural hollers. Some welcomed the benefit. Others responded to surveyors with pitchforks. It can't have been an easy job for my father. As I look back on it now, I see my parents striving for a better life, more security for us kids. I recall some of our early times were difficult, but we had enough. We could always afford love. My parents found ways to help my brother and me write out so many changes in our home life. Craftily creating a glowing travel ad to introduce the upside of everywhere we moved, my folks tried to focus on the positive, always. This place has charm, history, architecture, art, museums, oceans, and forests. Always something new and different to experience, to widen our world. More exciting new things to learn. The darker downside of this parade of homes, especially as I grew older, seemed to me to be just so many temporary stops on the way to leaving ever more friends and familiar places behind. New bedrooms, neighborhoods, schools, towns. Always the new kid, the one who talked funny. But somehow my brother was always instantly popular. 2 years ahead of me, he managed fewer changes of schools. I was invisible. I did make a few friends, but it was hard and lonely and confusing. My parents knew that I struggled, but what could they do? It was how my dad earned his living. We had some kitschy Japanese knickknacks, a set of delightful, colorful, magical pixies with pointy ears, caps like a trumpet-shaped flower, green tunics, and curled-up toes on their shoes. I found them to be totally enchanting. My mom told us, wherever the pixies are, there is our home. Later, they offered this philosophy: accept, adapt, and adjust. as we lived in Maryland, New York City, Texas, Missouri, Illinois, Virginia, upstate New York, Maine, Rhode Island. A different school every frickin' year. No familiar background information or social history any of the other kids knew about. Meeting groups of kids who shared a long-time friendship, I was always the odd one out. In my dreams, the houses and towns and people and places all began to run together, seeming to slip through my fingers and run into a puddle of salty tears at the news we were moving again. When I left home for college in Minnesota, I lived there for a long, long time. I worked, I married, and had my son. In time, I divorced, retired, and decided to move to Milwaukee, where I could be near my son and his wife and family. I really love Wisconsin. So many things about the place I live now feel like home. A condo of my own. It was still hard to meet people and make friends, but it was my choice, a more peaceful transition. I connected with artists, made friends with neighbors, and still I felt a longing to be with someone special. Finding the nerve to reach out, I did meet someone very special. A tentative first meeting fell headlong into a whirlwind romance out of a 40s movie where I was the leading lady. We had so much in common. Both artists, we planned, dreamed, created, and collaborated. We discovered we both spoke the language of color. We traveled to exotic places together. In the face of real adversity and sudden illnesses, we became very close, stunningly swiftly. Friendship morphed into love. The warm and easy loving relationship catapulted into a solid, substantial dream come true. We married 16 months after we first met in a chapel on a lake. Living now in Racine, I kept my Milwaukee home as well. Soon, I met so many great people and saw so much more of the wonderful state where I'd chosen to settle. Now, I had 2 homes, beautiful, invigorating, yet peaceful homes of my own. My childhood pixies grace my condo. They always make me smile. Last summer, I was searching for treasure at the garage sale of a friend. Lo and behold, I found it. Something I'd searched for in endless antique malls and bric-a-brac shops, yet never once found. It seemed to me that the spirits of my parents were looking over my shoulder then, as they often do, because as I perused the aisles of old-time dishes, cast iron pans, and oil lamps, I spotted them at last. There, nestled among the quaint old children's toys, were 3 magical, delightful pixies. I scooped them up and brought them to my second home. Now, both of my places are officially home. Of course, it was always more than just the pixies. It was the love.
Hi, I'm Eric Thomas Shelley. These are 5 leaves of where I'm from. Longingly gazing upon lapping shores, shells shimmer in lunar glow. Through the haze, moans reach, hoping any in need might find. Yes, you're probably right, she has my being, the tugs that steam and push the barge tracks Chattanooga bound, my man's glorious sound. But listen to ripples as glass forms from sunrise. This is the glories of the morning stars. I see little blue eyes, innocent to any indifference, red gory desires absorbing any insight. And here I don't know the world. Awe overwhelming, open glare, drool and most laugh. I do, as humorous as this divinity is, and such a mystery with an eternal legacy. No blues, grays, greens, browns, ones, twos, 12s, dwarf, elf, sage, grass, tree, ground, or even stones too high to climb can lonely shine. Dangerous guardians will lift ourselves across the surf. I prefer due northwest, star to right, lap at left, where we port such lonely vessels at perfect sea. It's when we all think of thee. Yet of here I hear no carpentry, machining, nor docking, no howls of harbor, nor do the fish snatch at the lure. I see no poisson paw, levee, a plenty a level, drop and rise more quick than a tide and waste evolves the lucky. One may fight, wake, and in blust one must, but this morning floating in the aurora hope is evermore. Careless as one might against the senseless, sightless, that's how it'll all be rolling in the dew. It's proven that one mustn't sense to know. Ring a bell? We can't forget these sands, even winter, oak, birch, evergreen, adorn rhythms of shush, tweet, buzz. The spirit ruffles delicate brush, whispering hush, crickets sing songs I wish to relay. Love is certain to be the theme, but these words mean nothing when it's more than breeze. Then frost and ice and hope and burns in our hearths. Passion with bind as ice like swine squeal entwined. This is not fine. Your freedom is whence we inclined. This cannot die, and oh, this tangle will seduce, even though the stone-faced rook and queen. Even their faces gleam, as earth's traveler allows our roaming. If we promise there'll be no caging, or endless sight without light. When the rivers drown, will we flown? I ask as the clown. We reroute, will it refill? With no snow, no ice, what thaws? All goes raw, fire for straw. But I insult, you already know the weight of the world and its sizzling burden. Our burden borne by cells of love will destroy. And this inferno cling to the scales of where we may find peace with Beatrice, ideally out of reach. Remember, as our stars wake, we'll see and gaze at perfection as she passes. I'm not Rasputin, and I can't say it'll be all right. In dream runs a clear stream, Pisces gleam, and just around the bend is a prairie. Hawks feed and fly to woods more. I see soaring mountains kept by goats of equilibrium, llamas leaping point to point, not noticing their grace. We watch with peanut, pretending we are at point, as they float so slow their speed is invisible, and their points aren't as important as their motion. We are all Buddhas existing in every abstract thought, swarming our defenseless minds, more sensitive, every sting crinkling our brains. To see virtue in every one of the multitude of glorious eyes is to see them as enlightened. One cannot allow any fears to not shine their light. Some more are afraid of extinguish if seen, but the world is in need of all's illumination, set in hopes, further contemplation.
My name is Robert M. Katzman, here again on April 21st, 2023, and I'm reading something from after my honeymoon last year. It's called Home, Home Again from Far, Far Away. Tiny spiders created a cobweb interstate in my closed-up office. Missed autumn and the magic, the explosion of hues. Color gone now. A million leaves all curled up, cracked, brown, and dead. I hear English spoken everywhere. My French was like drops of rain in a desert, one for them, one for me. English is so like a waterfall, my tired mind splashing in all of the syllables. I can understand everything again. I can make left turns, I can make right turns. I love stoplights. Damn turning circles! Damn the turning circles! Going round and round and round. Tiny European cars spinning past me like irritating metallic insects. But the bread, oh, the bread. Crusty, solid, fragrant, and more. We have so much to learn about how to bake bread. Ours is a step above dry cardboard. In fact, food is the thing. Food is the religion of Europe. Here we eat to live. There they live to eat. Here the dollars stack neatly like uniform greenbacks. There, each denomination gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Paper transformed into coins. Damn numbers too small for old eyes to see. But at least over there, no more pennies. So many bookstores. Every little hamlet has a bookstore, filled to overflowing with books, on tables, chairs, and on the floor. New books and crowds buying them. Old bookstores, the musty smell of centuries, pulpy paper and solid binding, books intended to last. Except when another European country, insanity erupting like a volcano, burned them, burned thousands. I think the best of Europe depends on when in time and who a person is. In busy, speeding Paris, every kind of beautiful woman, none of them born in France, Tunisia to Morocco, Portugal to Senegal, Britannia to Japan, China, Thailand, Korea, hajibs everywhere, dark eyes avoiding mine. Markets sprout up from nothing like mushrooms after a heavy spring rain. Fresh everything, cheeses, pork, hams, chicken roasting on pits. That's the best thing. It's wonderful. Every kind of bread, poppy seed to baguettes, a dozen silk scarves fluttering, fragrant leather purses, earrings, necklaces, anklets, sparkling in hot sunlight. 1,000 people laughing, happy, tasting, shopping, then poof, all gone. Like none of the wagons were ever there at all. Magic. But my bed is so like an old friend. I know where everything is. The shower is always hot. There is always toilet paper. I know where all the knives and forks are. A small castle maybe, but at least it's my castle. My old car has been waiting, awaiting me, a faithful steed. Okay, a rusting nag, but it has a wonderful automatic transmission, usually, and room for more than one adult person. Very slowly here, electric replacing gas. There, virtually not one American car, everything seemingly electric, and their tiny little cars are so adorable, like charms on a bracelet. My small town has my friends. I know all the streets. Where the potholes are, I know all the stores. I know my favorite cafes, where the coffee is good, where I can just be. I know my barber, my doctor, my lawyer, my mechanic, my post office, and the nice people there, working there, who smile at me when they see me. I am known here. I can plug any damn thing into any damn socket. A miracle. Traveling to alien places is where a person constantly adapts. Home is never having to adapt. My old rituals can resume again, as real to me as invisible children, anxiously awaiting my return. I am home. Thank you. Thank you.